We're here at Fighting Bob Fest in Baraboo, Wisconsin. Got about 8,000 people outside. We're backstage with Phil Donahue.
It's the most sanitized war in our history, John. You know, the president said you can't take pictures of the coffins, and the whole press corps said, okay. There has been no real thunderous, ground level journalism for this war. And the result is we have a nation wandering around worried about their homes, and I would be too, nobody can fault them for that. But the war has dropped down. It's no longer at the top of our list of things to do. Imagine 4,000 dead Americans, over a million Iraqis, 8 million displaced or refugees. And we don't have time for this. We're worried about other things. Being against the war was not good for business. And it won't be the next time if a president calls a war, we have millions of Americans who think it's somehow unpatriotic to dissent from that decision, and that is killing our children.
Well, you are here in rural Wisconsin, in Baraboo, Wisconsin, at a county fairgrounds decked out in flags and with a lot of patriotic people.
Absolutely.
Who are dissenters.
Yes.
And it strikes me that that's maybe a good way to bring us around here, that while you've had a hard time getting your film seen and getting the message out with a lot of folks on the East Coast and the West Coast who are supposed to know all sorts of things, you come to the rural Midwest and you got people cheering you on.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. The line was around the corner last
night for the movie.
Oh, sure. I mean, what filmmaker...
Doesn't that tell you something about America? That once you get beyond the consultants in New York...
Isn't that true? You know, there are real people here. I do think, however, that we could use a massive rehabilitative lesson on the Constitution. I just don't... we say how much, we appreciate and love and value and revere. I'm not sure, there are things about our Constitution that trouble people, like protecting terrorists from the tyranny of the majority. What are you doing that for? They're guilty. And that's exactly what the framers wanted to prevent. It's a wonderful thing that's happened to us over this past 3 years making this film. It's made us more appreciative of the brilliance and the vision of the framers. Man, they were right. Don't let one man call a war. It's too much of a temptation. I admire so much your being in the trenches on the issue of how corporate media is ruining our democracy. You can't, every major metropolitan newspaper in this country supported this war.
Everyone.
I mean, what else do we need to prove that corporate media is going to go along to get along? Don't put these scolds on the air. They don't love America. They don't, by the way, they don't draw a crowd, so we can't sell products and they're not good for business. And if we don't have good business, our stock price will fall. Honestly, this is how they think. Featuring an anti-war host on your television station could hurt the stock price. Now, it's true that has changed since October of 2002.
The war turned a little bad on
I guess so. Yeah. And now MSNBC has the audience that I appeal to as a marketing target.
Yep.
They're going for it. Keith Olbermann and they want this audience. It's very good.
One counsel on that. It's better to do that before the war starts than
Why
after.
did we wait for 4,000 young Americans to be dead before we said, uh-oh, maybe this isn't a good idea? So, it's a lesson for the future. Let's make sure that Congress, up or down Congress, come on, none of this soft sell stuff, where you go like this and hand the president. Here's your permission, Mr. President, if you have to go. That's not the Constitution.
Thanks, Phil Donahue, Bob Fest TV.